This is our wheels in for the first half of the trip. 1 bloody 30 indicated. A bit of bad luck for the Mk1 again, this time a little bit more terminal than yesterday. Yeah, it's an emotional moment. It's good to be back. Well, welcome to day 2 of the Golf Ball 1000. It's rained a lot overnight, but it's looking pretty good today. Forecast is good. And this is our wheels in for the first half of the trip. It's the Mk3 Golf GTI 16 valve from the Heritage fleet. It's done 1,600 miles, top speed of 134 miles per hour. So you could do its total mileage in 10 hours on the Autobahn if you could find a stretch that would let you do that. So we're going to start off slowly. Hopefully by the time we get to the German border, we'll be confident enough with the car to drive it properly. It's still going to feel really tight, but it's going to be fun to be back in Mk3s because I sold loads of these when the Mk2s were tailing off in sort of the late noughties. I sold loads and they always seem to rust down here. And this one, because it's not really lived in the real world, is still perfect. So yeah, everybody's here, everybody's lined up, should be a good day. And obviously at the end of today, we've got Wolfsburg. Before that, we swap over somewhere on the Autobahn to the 8.5, which again, I'm going to try and see how fast it'll go. I think it's 155 limited on that car. So there we go. That's something sounds good. So we just started the 7.5. Yeah, listen to that. Okay, well, first impressions of the Mk3 is that it's bloody warm and it's not even a warm day. So we've got no aircon, we've got electric windows, no sunroof. The cigarette lighter adapter doesn't seem to fit very well.
It's charging my phone there.
Oh, that's good, because mine just fell out.
In 500 metres, turn right onto Kleiner Bleekstraat.
But over these speed humps, well, you can't really feel them in this car. It's so squidgy already. But we've got ABS, which might come in handy. Top speed of 134 miles an hour, 0 to 62, 8.3, so I think it's a little bit about the same as an up GTI, which isn't bad. Bear in mind it's a 1996 car. It's just as well we're getting it early when it's still pretty cool, because I'm already sweating and it's, as the trip computer tells me, only 19 degrees. How did people drive these cars back then? They must have stank. Look at this for a fuel stop. So Mk1, Mk4, Mk 7.5, Mk 8.5, Mk3. Treating the old girl to a tank of Super Plus 98 E5. It's 2.17 a litre, which is rather expensive. That's getting on for the best part of £2 a litre. But yeah, I think the old girl needs a bit of love, and I won't put some of that nasty E10 in this car. Well, welcome to the Dutch motorway in a Mk3 Golf GTI 16 valve with 1,634 miles on the clock. It actually feels quite comfortable here. We can only do 60 on this stretch. It's doing about 3,000 RPM. Actually 70, about just over 3,000 RPM. It's quite quiet, amazingly quiet, isn't it, really? Doesn't feel like 20 years, 30 years. Bloody hell, we are getting old. Doesn't feel like a 30-year-old car at all. It's amazing how things like refinement haven't really moved on. We do have the thrum of the engine in the background, but I think it's a little lower revving than, say, a Mk2 Golf GTI 16 valve. Other quirks of this car are that there are no cup holders. We have no aircon, no sunroof, I mentioned that before. But now we're moving, it's not too bad. But I wish I'd worn my shorts, really. But when you're in an air-conditioned car, you don't think about that on a rainy day. The seat adjustment is interesting as well. The Mk4 had the ratchet up and down. On this, you have to do the lift your bottom up or push it down while you push that lever, yeah. Anyway, next time you will see us, we'll hopefully be in the fatherland, and we'll try and get close to that 134 mile an hour top speed, which back in 1994, when the 16 valve came out, was probably, yeah, quite exciting. I'm sure it would be exciting today, but maybe not for the same reasons. Check this out, hopefully you can see it. It's a Bora Estate, which we never got in the UK, 1.8T green. design. It's got the chrome pack, which was a big deal back in the day. Got a broken rear light. It's probably not particularly well loved now, but that is a cool car. We are now on the Autobahn in the Mk3 Golf GTI 16 valve with all its 150 horsepower. There's quite a few lorries, it's only 2 lanes, and a bit of moisture on the surface. I can't see any signs saying 130 kilometers per hour, so let's try and do 130 miles per hour. So that's 4,000 RPM. That's a ton in this nearly 30-year-old car. I guess the only thing we have to be careful with are the brakes, because they're 1990 brakes. Plus, really, this chassis is so soft that you just would not want to have to make a shot maneuver at 100 plus. This car was designed for the Autobahn. The 8 valves, you know, it's all right, but it won't like pull hard over 80 like this. It's a good car. It hasn't got the weight imbalance of the VR6, which pulls even harder at these kind of speeds. Yeah, it's nice. Just needs better damping. It still feels like a modern car. Anyway, let's go again. 80 now. 5th gear. For 4th is probably a little bit too harsh. And that's 3 figures, just closing in on 5,000 RPM. Get my foot in. Strange noise then. Tesla's coming up behind. Yeah. And it sent this car like about 30 centimetres offline with its slipstream. Okay, well, it was fun maxing out the Mk3 on the Autobahn, but now we're back in the Mk8.5 GWL, which we had earlier, and it felt like a caged animal inside the UK. Now we're on the Autobahn. We've got another hour to Wolfsburg. Hopefully there'll be some clear stretches, because I've never maxed out a car on the Autobahn, never hit the limiter, so maybe we will today. Actually, that's really interesting. Look, that Ford Transit has got solar panels on it and solar panels on the roof. Anyway, completely non-solar powered is a 651 Fedge. That was an M4 coupe, driven the same way throughout Europe by people. So yeah, enjoy the juxtaposition of the original and the most modern. Let me know which one you prefer in the comments. And if you like cup holders, it's going to be that one. Okay, bit of bad luck for the Mk1 again, this time a little bit more terminal than yesterday. Unfortunately, well, fortunately in a way, I could smell gearbox oil, and I got Neil, the technician, to have a look at it, and there is quite a lot coming out of the diff seal on it. So Neil's taken off to a Volkswagen dealer here, somewhere in Germany, 8 minutes away, and they're going to have a look at it on a ramp and see if they can sort it out, or just put some oil in it, because the problem is when gearboxes leak, you have no warning, really. You can't tell how much you've lost, and they just go noisy or seize up or something expensive. So yeah, it happens. I mean, how old is that car now? 31 years old, so it's done really well to get here. and I'm sure it's been driven pretty hard by these guys who are raring to go now. Tommy Gadget Boy in the Mk8 with the bad wheels. So yeah, on to Wolfsburg we go. Hamza in the 7.5. A happy man.
Yeah, pretty decent. Nice specification on this one.
Yeah, and the sunroof hasn't cracked yet either.
Yeah, I've never had that issue actually.
It's really common. DCC.
Yep, DCC.
Seriously, that is a nice spec then. All right, enjoy. Might have to race you.
You might win.
Okay, we're on the A2 Autobahn heading for Wolfsburg via Hanover. It's quite busy, it's a Friday. Not too many trucks, but there's still a lot of traffic. It's 3 lanes, which isn't always the case in Germany. Cruising at about 90 miles an hour. And we're in sport mode, which is actually quite firm, but you want control at these speeds. The steering is not too sensitive. It's important at speed that you don't have a steering that will make you change lanes when you have a sneeze or something. We've got the de-restricted symbol on the instrument cluster, so it's got that right this time. It is de-restricted, so you can go as fast as you want, but over 80 miles an hour, which is the speed limit. If you have an accident, even if this Cupra pulls in front of us, it's your fault, and that does stick in your mind when you're doing these kind of things. Hopefully it'll clear down a bit, but this is the main thoroughfare into Poland and Eastern Europe, so it's never the quietest, but yeah, it's still great to drive with the 8.5. Bit of a tradition on the Autobahn is a Stau, which is a traffic jam. This one must be about 10 miles to here, because back there some lorries have done something and flipped a car over. I'm sure everyone's okay, but they haven't even started to clear the damage yet, and this queue is huge. More police now. So yeah, they're still getting there, and that queue is massive. So yeah, we're lucky on this side, we're moving all right. 130 limit now. That's 130 clicks more than most people heading back west. So yeah, it's chill and enjoy the drive. And when you live with the car for a good length of time, I mean like a few hours now I've been in this car, you know, to think like it makes a little chuff from the turbo, which is really quite nice. It's almost like they engineered it out of the old cars since the Mark IV, but it's there. It's like a dumping noise. That's just kicked down though. But yeah, anyway, got some exhaust pops and bangs as well. Sound like you've just run over about 4 rabbits. But yeah, even 80 kilometers an hour, 80 miles an hour is fun in the Mark 8.5 Golf GTI 265 horsepower. Voice control by mistake.
Here's an overview of all the functions you can control with your voice.
And it starts.
Okay, I'll change my voice. I'll welcome you with my new voice the next time you wake me up.
Hello, Ida. Go yourself.
All I heard was a beep. Something must have been censored.
First Wolfsburg plated car we've seen on this trip, which is a taste of things to come, because when you actually get to Wolfsburg, it is all pretty much Volkswagen. Okay, 78 miles an hour, Autobahn clear ahead of me, de-restricted, our exit's coming up soon, so not long to go. 4th gear, foot down, 90, 100s. 120, traffic up ahead. Still, it's a Mk5 GTI, so that's good. Coming from Belgium, so it's heading to the Fanfest. Okay, we've just come off the Autobahn and we're cruising into Wolfsburg on a back road, which is nothing to do with us flying past our exit at like 140 miles an hour, is it, Kate? It's good because I really am bored of driving this car on motorways, and I'm going to film a full review of it later, which you'll probably have seen before this video comes out, because it's much more important to get this review out than it is to get a Fanfest video out, or Fanfest road trip video out, because there'll be another Fanfest event video. Just a good opportunity to drive it on some crappy roads, which are usually crappy for Germany. Maybe they do that on purpose around here so the engineers can have some crap British road tarmac to set the cars up for us. But we're in comfort mode. It is firm, and it's, you know, you hear like minor imperfections thump through the chassis. Here we are. Yeah, that's just like Northamptonshire. This is called Northamptonshire Strasse. Yeah, it's firm. It's not overly firm. We're on 19s as well. I would say get 18s, but you know what the Richmonds look like, so maybe you wouldn't. So yeah, it's okay. But hopefully, when I do the dynamic driving test later on, all this rigidity in the chassis will pay dividends. So yeah, can't wait to try that. Now though, we have 6 miles to our hotel. Big moment for me, driving to Wolfsburg in a Golf for the first time ever. We've got the famous chimneys there. We've got the Autotherm of the towers with the cars in there. And we have our hotel down there somewhere. Big canal, the Volkswagen Stadium where the Fanfest actually
Turn
is.
right to Autobahn.
Over here.
Then at the roundabout, take the first exit.
And yeah, it's an emotional moment. It's good to be back. I've been here before in an A4 and an RS Q3 and a Boeing 737 to Hanover. Yeah, it's great to be back. Last bit of the journey now, heading to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, which was built when the Autostadt was built, must be 25 years ago now, and even got potholes in this bit. So there you've got the 4 chimneys of the factory. Between us and the factory is a swimming pool that's heated by the wastewater of the factory that's attached to the hotel. It's part of the Marriott group, so you know, anyone can stay here. But there are sort of much cheaper and pretty decent hotels elsewhere in Wolfsburg, but they all involve a bit of a walk. It's a stroke of luck that I just managed to capture A651 Fedge, which has been for a little bit of TLC with Volkswagen main dealer somewhere near Lipptal, just to the west of Hanover. Fan works. Come on then, Neil.
Hey.
How'd you get on?
Oh, we've got an okay, yeah. So it just looks like leak, so manageable, so that's good.
Did we put any more oil in?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
About half a litre in.
That's okay then. Cool.
So,
It is here. Hooray! Amazing. So let's get in Fedge and take the old girl to a place that wouldn't have existed without this car. Right, that's Fedge. Back home. King's Red, Club Sport, warm and air wheels. This is the one you want. Crystal, ice, blue metallics. Are you going to do it again? Okay, we're going through the factory gates. I don't think there's another brand that kind of evokes all this sort of passion. Do you subscribe to my channel?
I subscribe to your channel,
Cool.
so it's quite fun to meet you here at the event. So
It's fun to meet you guys.